Monica Ambrosini doesn't have an easy job. She has to persuade the public that Venice is on the brink of salvation. She's the spokesperson for the huge Mosè flood protection project. It's still not completed, and every time there's a flood, there's anger.
People have lost faith after so many years. They simply can't see an end to it all. Last time there was a flood, they thought that Mosè would save the city and told us to finally activate the floodgates.
Last November, much of the city was flooded and damaged, including the famous waterfront area, the Riva degli Schiavoni. Next time around, the hope is that the floodgates will be activated and will protect the city. It could be working as soon as autumn. The system is currently being tested. Monica Ambrosini took us to the Lido, where the Venetian lagoon connects with the Adriatic Sea. Our journey ended at the new quay wall. The security guard told us we were not allowed to come any closer for safety reasons. It is still in the test phase after all. So we had to make do with observing this mammoth construction from a distance. This project poses a real engineering challenge. To begin with, 40 foundation pillars, 60 meters long, were lowered into the water and connected by an underwater lock system. Then, 78 movable chambers called caissons, each weighing over 300 tons, were placed above them.
These enormous floating gates had to be positioned right alongside each other. There was a 5mm margin. It was an extremely precise remote-controlled underwater operation.
This area between the lagoon and the sea has been a construction site for 17 years. There have been various interruptions and a series of corruption scandals leading to arrests. This is also why Mosè has a poor reputation among many Venetians. Andrea Barina is one of the most vocal critics of the project, which he says lacks transparency.
€6 billion for a project that has been criticized by many international specialists who don't believe that it will protect Venice. It's a huge waste of public money, like we've never seen before.
He thinks that there are other ways of protecting the city. Together with a fellow campaigner from his association, he showed us the damage caused by the storms and floods last November. Many walls were destroyed, but the Giudecca Islands served as a bulwark and prevented similar damage in other parts of the city.
How much of the Mosè funds could we have used for effective flood protection systems in the whole city? Because of climate change, there are going to be more and more storms and floods in the future, and they will be more intense.
Skeptics say that these mobile locks in the Adriatic Sea won't protect Venice. Andrea Barina is among them. He's also angry that the Mosè money wasn't used to maintain the city's historic buildings.
The floods are a problem, but the ships and cruises are worse because they're causing the foundations of the city to erode, and they're endangering the structures.
It would make sense to drain the canals on a regular basis and renovate the foundations, but this maintenance work hasn't been done for decades. Monica Ambrosini is more optimistic about Mosè. She hopes that the tests will prove that the mobile lock system can run smoothly and silence the critics.
It will be really satisfying when the residents of Venice stay nice and dry the next time there's a serious flood.
So far, the system has only been tested in good weather. Perhaps it will prove itself when the next flood comes. Otherwise, Venetians will once again be at the mercy of the elements.